Am I even getting paid enough for this job? Will I get laid off? Should I start something of my own? Will I ever be rich doing this job?
I'm here to tell you, you did well. I mean, you got good grades in college, you studied hard and got yourself a job, and it's an okay pay also. Co-workers bhi theek hai, but right now you don't like your job. In fact, you think you're being underappreciated and underpaid. And I completely understand this. I mean, is 9 to 5 job actual modern day slavery? I mean, the salary is not going to make you rich. So in this episode, we'll talk about whether the 9 to 5 job is the right thing or not for you, and if you're maximizing your true potential. And how do you make all that money in a job? Is it even possible? We'll talk about the good and we'll talk about the bad, because clearly Padosi Walas and the internet is not telling us the truth. Let's begin. Now, if you look at 9 to 5 closely, I mean, the points are not in favor of you actually doing it. So first, there are low wages and long working hours. I mean, who wants to work that long for such a pay? Then there's job insecurity. Heard about those layoffs? Some of you are so skilled, you can start your own business and make some money, just not ready yet. And of course, you could have bad managers and office politics. And not to mention that this job that you're in will not make you rich, right? I mean, look at your salary multiplied by 10, 20 years. Does it really compound into a large number? Probably not. So let's do something. Let's go one by one, starting with long working hours and low wages. Actually, if you look at this pay, it's about 2.5 lakhs a year for fresh graduates जो बहुत मेहनती हैं. They are the future of the country. India has to become number one. How will India become number one if you're paying them only 2.5 lakh rupees a year? And this number apparently has not been changing for many years, right? But before you get on to this rant and say salaries come hai, at the start of your career, you will always have lower comparative wages and long working hours. These are the years where you actually put in the grind to learn what your job is. Your salary is not a wealth tool at this point. It's just keeping you alive. It's paying for your rent, paying for a bunch of other stuff, just basically introducing you to this adult world. And if you look around the world, whether it's America or India, your starting salaries are always relatively lower to when you have more experience. And that makes sense, right? But what you need to keep in mind is that your salary will not increase linearly. It will increase exponentially over the next 10 years. And it has to do with 3 things. One is to do with your own experience. As you add age, your salary bracket normally increases. Number 2, your own skill level. And I think this is 99% of the game. If you aren't good at your own job and you're not literally the best on the floor, you won't make it. And third is industry growth. If the industry you're in is growing like crazy, you benefit from those tailwinds. Now, the first 2 is completely in your control and you can work on this right now. You can pause this video and actually begin. Make it a habit to improve your own skill. And of course, stay long enough and your salary will increase. But the third thing, which is the industry headwinds or the tailwinds, are not in your control. You can't worry about this. A good example is a software engineer working in a nice startup in this country versus a software engineer working inside OpenAI on AI because he happened to learn it in college. Both of their salaries will be completely different. This salary is not bad, but this salary at OpenAI is probably $1 million. That's 8 crore rupees in salary. Now coming to point number 2. Of course, if you have been reading the papers, you can see that people get laid off, which means experience ho gaya, skill is very nice, but still one day you get that email and you've been fired. I mean, what's the point of all of this if there is no job security? And why the hell should you even think about doing a 9 to 5 job if one day they'll come to you and say, bye-bye, it's over? Okay, let's think about this a little bit. So, a job insecurity layoff situation happens when companies are firing their employees en masse. For example, there was a crazy edtech boom in India and they were hiring like crazy. Now that bubble has burst and they are laying off like crazy. And you go back in time, you will always see the same pattern. Now you tell me, If we all live inside this capitalist society in India, in the world, when an industry doesn't do well, do all three of these people get affected? And these three people are the employee, the founder and upper management, and the investor. The answer is all three. When an industry doesn't do well, all three actually get laid off. The founder probably loses his company, the investor probably loses his valuation and his investment, and the employee loses his job. In most cases like this, everyone's affected. So whether you are doing a 9-to-5 job, you are an investor, or whether you started your own company, you will be affected. The best thing you can do is rely on your experience and skill to figure out what to do next. And I think all these three guys will have to do the same thing. The third is bad manager or just bad office culture. You know, this is what an office looks like. Isn't that beautiful? Going to the gym in the morning, having breakfast, going tiddle-dee, tiddle-dum, working a little bit, then going out, playing a game, वहाँ पे लोग football खेल रहे हैं, and coming back to work and being paid $100,000 a year. बिल्कुल सच नहीं है ये. Your expectations are being set by this highlight reel on the internet. I'll tell you a little story. When I was in school, my mother, who was the principal of a school, used to come back every day, and because she's very expressive, she used to tell us everything that happened in office. She used to talk about the bad things. She used to talk about the good things. She used to talk about what she's worried about. She used to tell us कि इस person ने ऐसे बोल दिया. She felt really bad. And as kids, our expectations were set that work life is mixed. You have great days, bad days, and most days are boring days. And this was the expectation when we started the company also, because that's what I was taught. But in your case, things are different because your expectations are being set by this highlight reel on the internet, which is Instagram, which only picks the best things because they want views. And you think that's what work life is. But it's not. Office culture is not break rooms and offsites and playing and laughing all the time and iced tea, chai, latte. What is chai tea? It's none of these things. It's your relationship with your work, with your managers, with your colleagues, and every company is different. So first, stop looking at the internet to find out what your expectations should be of an office. I think what you should focus on right now is becoming so good at your work that people around you treat you slightly differently because you're good at your work. You need to go work hard, learn something, and once your ability is at certain level, everyone will treat you differently. And आपकी दुनिया अच्छी बनेगी. Got it? But in some cases, the office culture and the manager both can be bad. I mean, if someone is actually exploiting you, humiliating you in front of everyone, etc., these aren't normal cases. These are edge cases, and you should find a way to either get it stopped by talking to them or just find a new company. But you need to know one thing. The manager is probably thinking of 12 other dimensions that you aren't. All you're thinking is, why isn't he or she appreciating me? Why am I not paid my due? If he's a good manager, she will definitely tell you what is wrong and make sure that that behavior doesn't happen again. If that person says, no, I won't tell you, that's a sign of a bad manager. Second, review this again after 30 days or 20 days and ask for active feedback. Again, a good manager will give you feedback and help you improve. Now, step 3, if your experience is still bad, ask for the upper management to change your team. Step 4, if your situation is still bad, then switch your job and find something else. Simple. Then, of course, we have point number 4, which is your skills have come to a point where you can actually do a freelance or start your own company. I mean, makes sense, right? So here's the thing. Starting a company is not as easy as you think. And we have a fair video talking about freelance and starting your own business. If you're in a 9-to-5 job, watch that video to understand and, well, we'll de-influence it for you. Point number 5, your job, your salary will obviously never make you rich, right? I mean, 10% increase every year for the next 20 years. It's not a lot, right? Well, wrong. Like I said earlier, your earnings actually increase exponentially over decades. And this is not done every year. It comes in spikes every few years when you least expect it, when all these three dimensions actually come into a single point where experience, your skill, and the industry is all growing. Exactly like it is for the investors and the founder. At this point, all three are in alignment and they all receive some form of exponential growth. And this is completely normal and a good thing. In fact, if you look at the top CEO salaries, it goes into crores. Actually, it goes into tens of crores. Now, I know what you're thinking. These are big companies. These are really old people. Of course, their salary is like 20 crores. But even if you look at startups, the CXO team, that is -1 to the founder, they also have a salary range of 1 to 4 crore rupees. Now, in any case, if you understand compounding and investing, 1 to 4 crore rupees salary is really good, especially if you can compound it over 10, 12, 15-year period. So thinking that your salary can't make you rich is completely false. What you don't realize is you're probably not there in experience and skill right now, but you will be there in the future, and when you do, the opportunity will present itself. And let me tell you, a lot of founders, well, most founders don't make 1 to 4 crore rupees a year in salary. They are trying to do a big outcome, and it's highly risky. Another interesting ray of hope is Satya Nadella, Indra Nooyi, and so many people out there actually started as just normal employees in a company and worked their way up to become CEOs. Which means, again, if you have all these three things aligned over a long period of time, skill compounds and that compounds to money too. I think skill compounds better than money in most cases. I'd love to hear your experience in the comments below. See you in the next one.